Hi everyone, good morning and welcome to Mamapedia Facebook Live. I'm wearing my fashionable headband to talk about my topic today, and I thought it was very appropriate for the topic of teenagers complaining. I'll take it off in a second, but I just thought I would wear it, and then I'll take it off and maybe wear it around my house to annoy my own girls later. They'll be mortified when they see it, but it says stop complaining, and it's a topic I wanted to talk about today because it is so prevalent amongst teenage girls. I'm Lisa Tiano with Inner Star Girl. I'll take it off. And for those of you who are first joining in to Mamapedia, just to give a little bit about my background, you can feel free to go onto my website on innerstargirl.com, and I work with teenage girls, preteen girls, and I also have two teenagers myself. I've been raising teenagers for 16 years. So I totally get this topic. If anyone knows, it would be me. I absolutely understand complaining. I call it kvetching. I love the word kvetch, and it is so descriptive in the sense that in the literal sense, it means to squeeze or to press. So when we hear somebody complaining, we automatically go like this, right? Cannot stand complaining. But if you're raising teenage girls, you probably know, if you don't have one who complains, you probably know of another teenage girl who complains, and we get it as parents. We totally get it. Boys complain also, but in a different sense. So some girls are so good at complaining, I swear they can win a gold medal. And I wanted to talk about complaining and how we can change the behavior over time, because it's such a learned behavior. And it's not that girls are complainers. They become complainers, okay? It's a way for them to get attention, but it's negative attention. It's not good. So girls, if you're listening, please pay close attention to the things I'm going to talk about today. It's so necessary. I get it. I get that the teenage years are hard. If you're a preteen, I also get it. I understand everybody has stressors in their life, things to complain about. Sometimes I wake up and I'm in a bad mood or something's not going right. And we all at some point in our life, we complain and things bother us and things get to us. The difference is if it's constant, if it's chronic, and it continues, there are things that I need to explain, okay? So it's negative attention, and you want to know why it happens for so long. Because parents, and I'm sorry I'm being brutally honest, so if I offend any parents or moms, please forgive me. We're all in this together. I just know that you get it and I get it, but I want to explain the behavior a little bit more. It's learned behavior over time. So if we're talking about a little girl, there's a difference between the little girl falling and hurting herself, and we as parents are automatic nurturers, right? The nurturer in us wants to take over, and we want to make our little girls feel better, and we want to take care of things. I absolutely understand. But when it's a teenager who is complaining about that she has let's say a hangnail, and she's nagging over this hangnail, and I can't type, I can't write, I have a hangnail, and oh, it's bothering me, and oh, it becomes so whiny and nudgy. I use that term a lot. It's kvetchy, it's a Yiddish term, right? They're being kvetches over the little things. And let's talk about parents and moms and dads who give in to the whining and the nudging and the complaining. Honey, what's wrong? Let me take care of it. Oh my gosh, it's a hangnail. Let me go get the nail clippers. And it becomes this whole thing of the moms or an adult feeding in to the whininess and the nudginess. When does it stop? So my question today is, in knowing about the complaining, the chronic complaining, When does it stop? When do you allow your daughter to start fending for herself? Let her go find the nail clippers. Let her do it for herself. Because what's going to happen is eventually she's going to grow up. She's going to have a boyfriend. She'll get married, right? And what's going to happen? She's going to do the same thing. A vicious cycle. She's going to perpetuate the whining and the complaining, and then her boyfriend or her husband is probably going to lose his mind, and then it's a lose-lose situation for everybody. So here's my philosophy. Girls who've whined for so long and complained, it's because, ready? They've had ample time to practice it. It's almost like, I give an example of it being like a toxic reflection in the mirror. And so that's the reflection that you give off in the outside world, right? Because we're surrounded by people constantly. You're surrounded by other kids at school. As soon as you walk out the door, as soon as you walk out of the house, okay, there's complaining in the house. But then 9 out of 10 times, if you're complaining in the house, you're complaining at school. You're complaining out in the outside world. So eventually, I'm sorry to say, if you are noticing fewer friends, it's probably because you've been complaining for so long and friends are losing patience. So I give another example, like kids saying the glass half empty, right? It's always mom's fault. It's always dad's fault. It's somebody's fault in the family, right? A water bottle. Let's say they have a water bottle and they go to school and they have their lunch and their water bottle, their water's warm. And is it because mom or dad forgot to put the water bottle in the fridge so the water bottle's not cold, so you're not going to drink the water, and then you're going to get dehydrated? And what happens when you get dehydrated? You get a headache, and then you have a headache, you're complaining about the headache, and whose fault is it? It's probably mom or dad's fault while you have the headache, right? Parents, stop feeding into it, stop enabling. You need to stop. If they're complaining at home, most likely they're complaining at school and everywhere else. So these are my words of wisdom for today. Ready? You need to change the way that you're responding at home, because everything in the home, as we all know, trickles outside into the real world. Everybody knows that. And what you think, you make manifest. It's going to show and present itself in the outside world. Number 2, you, as a parent, I'm probably going to say 9 out of 10 times, if it's happening with a child, most likely there's some adult in the family, not to put any blame on mom or dad, it could be grandma. It could be grandma or an aunt who comes over who's constantly complaining about something. Most likely, somebody in the family is complaining, and guess what? This is where your daughter is learning it from. Complaining is a learned behavior. I'm going to keep saying it. So pay attention to your own words. Pay attention to the way you speak and communicate at home. And parents, if you start hearing it over and over again, and the fetching and the complaining, maybe have a code word. Maybe make up a code word or two with your daughter. Number 3, if you're seeing her friends drop like flies, it's probably not a red flag. It's probably a huge sign that something is wrong. So you need to pay attention to her, to what's happening in her social circle. Number 4 is a must. You must practice positivity in your lives. You must. Girls, please, I understand this. I'm still raising 2 teenage daughters. We all need to practice positivity in our lives, and it's healthy. And you need to be present. I almost like to say, not almost, I am going to say, that you need to be hyper aware. You need to be sensitive to the words that you're speaking. You need to be hyper sensitive about how you're representing yourself to other people. It's extremely important. It's extremely relevant that you are conscious of your attitude and the attitude that you present to other friends, because they're not going to want to be around you. Number 5, girls, I promise you there are so many reasons to be happy as a teenager. I know it's an awkward time in your life. I know it may be stressful. There's pressures, there's school pressures, there's social pressures, there's friend pressures. But I promise you, there are so many reasons to be happy in your life. These are the best years of your life. It's going to only get harder as an adult. It's going to get harder in the workforce, in the work world. And these are just the best years. So please find things to be grateful for. Try practicing gratitude more. Feeling grateful for the little things, not always the big things, but the little things. I'm always saying that to my kids. And I work with kids. Whatever school I'm at, I'm always saying to practice gratitude and to be grateful. And number 6, when your daughters are hearing you say the words, we as adults need to practice what we preach, right? Because our kids are obviously going to tune us out. We can't just preach and we can't just nag ourselves and keep repeating ourselves and saying the same things. I've been guilty. I have been very guilty of repeating myself. And I have to be hyper aware of myself and hypersensitive at times, especially in raising kids and raising girls. So practicing the words, oh, this makes me so happy, or thank you, just little things like that. Our daughters need to hear it from us as parents. And number 7, we all know the law of attraction, right? The belief that focusing on positive or negative things in our lives brings that back into our life. So what we attract in our lives is what we bring out ourselves. So if you're a person who is negative, who is constantly kvetching and complaining, that's probably the reputation that you have made for yourself. And it's true. I'm being very forthright. This is real teen talk, and I'm keeping it real, girls. So we have to recognize the things about ourselves is what we attract. No one said that change is easy. And I promise you, if you are complaining, you've probably been doing this for a long time and you don't realize it. The last thing you want is for someone to point it out to you. And most likely, unless it's a family member or someone extremely close to you, no one's going to point out the fact that you are complaining. They will just start not wanting to hang around you, and they're not going to want to be friends. And it's becoming draining. It's becoming very draining. And it's becoming draining on your family, and it's becoming draining in your social circle. So no one said that change is easy. And change it. Change can start now. And I always feel like I use the words nourishing our attitude a lot when I'm speaking. When I'm speaking with girls, when I'm speaking in groups or workshops or in assemblies, whatever it is, I feel like nourishing our attitudes. Our attitude is like nourishing our souls, just like drinking water or eating. We have to really pay attention to the little things. And nourishing your attitude is so important at this age. And you're going to want to be a happy teenager. And you can't do that if you're constantly complaining. So listen, pay attention, be hyper aware, be sensitive to how you're speaking at home, speaking to your parents. And moms, pay attention, dads, parents, adults listening, watching, pay attention to how you're speaking at home. And let's spread positivity. Let's spread positivity. These are great times in the teenage years. And so those are my words of wisdom. I wrote some notes. I don't think I forgot anything. I want everyone to have a great weekend and a great week. And I'm going to probably walk out of my room and annoy my girls with this headband today. And as parents, we get to do that. It's payback. So everyone, enjoy your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you here every Saturday at 11 a.m. with Real Teen Talk, and I will see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.